Good evening, brothers, sisters, and ginormous resistors. Ollamh here, and with She-Hulk coming out tonight, or tomorrow, depending on how late you stay up, I think it's time we talk about a few last-minute predictions that I wanted to make before the show actually aired. So, one of the things that we recently found out about is what causes the car accident that causes Walters to be infected with the Hulk blood. Well, that was caused because of a very specific ship, one that we last saw back on Sakaar. It was the Grandmaster ship. Now, there is a question of whether or not this is the Grandmaster. Is it just the Grandmaster ship, or is it that the ship style of the planet Sakaar itself? I do not think that this is the Grandmaster, because the paint job on that ship is too muted, it's too casual for the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster is very flamboyant and very bold in his color choices. So I don't think it's going to be the Grandmaster. But if my theory is correct that they are kind of like gathering all the gamma-powered superheroes and villains, I bet that's Scar. Now, Scar in the comics is the Hulk's son, as part of, I think it was part of the Planet Hulk and World War Hulk series, which I don't think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to go full World War Hulk. They've already done the Planet Hulk series. I don't think they're going to go full World War Hulk, because that was more apocalyptic than what the MCU tends to go for. So, I think if we do see Scar, number one, I don't think we're going to see Scar right at the beginning. I don't think Scar is going to be a major player throughout this series. I think this series is more about introducing various different characters and kind of like entering them into the MCU proper. So I think that's what's going to happen. It's kind of a hint that Scar is in the MCU, but not a major player in She-Hulk. I get the feeling that it may be more along the lines of the Hulk and Agents of Smash cartoon that was on Disney XD and now is streaming on Disney Plus. I get the feeling that's probably the Scar they're going to go with. A Scar that doesn't know much about his family or anything like that. May start off kind of targeting Hulk and being like, hey, you're the bad guy. You caused problems on my planet. You know, yeah, life on Sakaar wasn't great, but at least we had a leader. We had some sort of sustainable life on our planet. Now everything's in chaos, and the Hulk is to blame. Now, in Hulk and Agents of Smash, Scar is kind of led around by the nose by the leader, which I said a week ago, or actually 2 weeks ago now. I said 2 weeks ago now that I get the feeling that the leader is coming back. Because one of the other things that I feel like they're going to do with this series, because it's a legal show and stuff like that, is they're bringing back stuff that they couldn't introduce originally back when the MCU started, because they didn't own the properties. So I think Universal did The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. Now that should be up, unless Universal does something with it. That I do believe is up in either 2023 or 2024, meaning that that's the reason why they haven't been able to do a specifically Hulk-centric movie. Ever since Iron Man came out and was very public with his persona, very public about who he was, very public superhero, I think that kind of started things working. And now that Marvel's starting to get back some of their properties, actually able to start using them again, they're starting to say, okay, well, how do we reintroduce this? And I think that's primarily what She-Hulk is going to do. is each episode is going to be a new case featuring a new group. There's already been one character that we've seen in a trailer that is a mutant, is canonically just a mutant, not a really big name mutant or anything like that, but I think that may be where the public finds out about mutants, that yes, mutants do exist. So we're not going to see a very young Charles Xavier or a very young X-Men or anything like that are just now forming. I think they've already been there. They have been, the X-Men have been around, mutants have been around, all of these people, all of these things have been around, but the public just never knew about them. So we could totally see a mutant. We could totally see Emil Blonsky kind of becoming less of a villain and more of an anti-hero, more of just kind of a general bastard. And I do think that at the end, we are going to find out that the leader was behind a lot of stuff. I think the leader is going to be kind of behind all of this stuff, because like MT over on New Rockstars pointed out, the leader was, at the end of the 2008 The Incredible Hulk, Stern was infected with Banner's blood and was starting to mutate. In the comics, Natasha Romanoff found Stern as he was starting to mutate into the leader proper and arrested him and took him to a SHIELD facility. Now, this parallels Abomination beautifully, because Abomination was captured at the same time and arrested at the same time and has yet, so it has been, wow, I mean, in the MCU time, it has been almost 20 years since Abomination and the leader were captured, and they have yet to face trial, which is going to cause a major problem as far as any legal proceedings. They should have had a trial long before now, but they didn't because they were super villains. And it's like, well, you can't treat people differently simply because they are super villains. And maybe that may be a good point where they could kind of say, you have a note or a legal document or something from Charles Xavier expanding on how, mutants faced the same problem and still do kind of face the same problem, that, hey, they are unfairly judged guilty and sentenced without any proper court cases. That could be a way that they could bring in the X-Men and say, no, the X-Men have always been here. They were hidden away. They didn't make themselves publicly known. I think they really should do that with the Fantastic Four as well. They could say, hey, you know what? Well, we have a certain amount of technology or something like that to hold these people, possibly from Reed Richards. It may be from Reed Richards or from the Baxter Foundation, or it could be from Latveria. It could be a Victor Von Doom product. I think that would be a really good way of bringing those into the fold. Now, two shorter predictions. One is, I do believe we're going to see a Hulk. We're going to see the Hulk change in this. We're going to see Banner and the Hulk change to more of a realistic level. So yes, he can still be smart in Hulk form, but he's losing his edge. He's losing that fine controlled edge, and he is actually, he's actually able to just rage out. Because one of the things that we've seen in recent trailers is with the throwing, you see Hulk just kind of like, yep, huh, see? No luck. Then you see She-Hulk throw her rock further, and we actually got to see Hulk's reaction, which is to pick up a rock and throw it out into space. And that was very much, that felt like just like this angry, just like, oh, you want this? Okay, fine, let's compete. And yeah, just that anger showing that, and his question of, is this jealousy? Is this what I'm feeling? Am I jealous? I think that's what we're going to see with the Hulk, is he's kind of regressing away from that calm, collected, cool exterior that we saw in Endgame, when he went back and was just like, oh, I have to rage and I'm really not this guy anymore. I think we're going to see a Hulk that returns to possibly being that rage-filled monster, but not all the time. Not like, oh, well, it's either you're in human form and you're smart or you're rage monster. I think, again, we're going to kind of see a Hulk that we saw in the cartoon Hulk and the Agents of Smash. Also, I think they're setting up a lot of stuff for the future. A lot of the villains for the future, like Scar, like the Leader, like potentially villains that are going to show up in other properties are going to kind of first face. They're kind of going to first face the legal system as far as all of this stuff and how they're defended, how they're prosecuted and stuff like that. That's going to be a big question, and that's going to kind of what drives them into, are you a villain? Are you a hero? What side of everything are you on? Now, as far as the whole Hulk and Agents of Smash, there was Rick Jones. Now, Rick Jones, I don't think we've seen Rick Jones in anything MCU related. Rick Jones was kind of this boy that followed Hulk, loved Banner, loved Hulk, and wound up getting irradiated into A-Bomb, this blue spiky Hulk that wasn't as physically strong, but could he could camouflage himself so that he couldn't be seen. He could roll up into a ball and speed off. I don't think we would see A-Bomb in She-Hulk. It would feel like it's too much like pushing what we're waiting to see in a Hulk production and a proper Hulk production versus a She-Hulk production. I mean, this show should be about She-Hulk and her journey, not, hey, we're going to introduce everybody and everything and show you exactly what happens, how Scar becomes friends with the Hulks, how the Leader comes back, how, Rick Jones becomes A-Bomb, how all of this stuff happens. No, I think they're showing her journey into becoming She-Hulk, but I think they're going to sprinkle little Easter eggs here and there as far as, well, here's this kid named Rick Jones, we don't know a whole lot about why certain people get certain powers as far as when they come in contact with gamma blood or gamma radiation, but, this kid Rick Jones has a few ideas. Maybe Rick Jones is kind of a conspiracy nut who is covering the trials and doing a web series as far as the trials and stuff like that, and that's how he gets introduced. Is just, the Hulk mentions that, there's this kid called Rick Jones that apparently is really, really loves following your cases and stuff like that. That would be a great way to introduce the character, but not try and put a focus on him. Anyway, that is my predictions for She-Hulk. Again, I don't know how many of these are accurate. It doesn't come out for another 9 hours, I think. Now, I will be doing a theorist at law, either a theorist at law or attorney at theory. I'm not sure which. Maybe attorney at geekdom. Reaction and theory type videos as the different episodes drop. So make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you want to be kept up to date of when those go live. If you liked the video, don't forget to press the like button. Also, check out the social media links down below, the Facebook page and the Twitter account, where you can also find out when we post videos or go live, as well as a permanent invite for the Discord server, where a bunch of us talk about all kinds of weird and wacky stuff, including the Pirates of the Geek Vortex crew. All of that so that you can stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!